Hey yo, what's good, everybody? Let's tap in, man, on this wonderful Monday night, man. Y'all getting over your Thanksgiving holiday last week and all that, man. Let's go, man. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum to all my Muslim brothers and sisters all over the globe. I love you. We in this together. Peace to all the rest of the peace-loving family of mine. I hope y'all had a wonderful weekend. I know y'all probably in your feelings about your little football game. All I do is watch the highlights, man. You already know. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we're going to get that off there. Yeah, listen. Are y'all ready? Y'all tuned in for another edition of FedTime? FedTime, my old man. You know I had to bring you back. Come on, I ain't did a FedTime in about, I think it's been a week, 2 weeks. But yeah, and this latest edition of FedTime with O. I told you, man, my time in federal prison was eye-opening to say the least, but I have a myriad of stories. I have so many stories. Like I said, some of them inspiring, some of them are funny, some of them they're all real, some of them are sad. So, you know, I'm gonna hit you with one right now, man, that this is something anybody that's ever been locked up, especially incarcerated in the Bureau of Prisons, which is the federal prison system all over the country, you never, ever want to get that visit from the chaplain. You never, ever want to get that call from the chaplain. All right? On this edition of Fed Time with O, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to recount my personal experience when you get that call from the chaplain. You know, and I was just, listen, man, it happens to a lot of us, if not most of us, but, you know, I'm fresh in on my 20-year bid. I don't even think, I know I didn't have 5 years in. You know, and listen, man, I used to get on the phone, I would call my peoples, you know, tell them I love them, I'm good, I'm safe and all that, and I would always call my grandmother, man. That's my baby, my father's mother. That's my baby right there. My mother's mother's still living. I love her to death too. But this is my father's mother. This is mine, you know what I'm saying? And we used to get on the phone and we wrap it up and I reassure her that I'm good and ain't nobody messing with your baby, grandma. You know how grandmothers are, man. You know, they keeping that line strong. Cause I mean, you gotta think, like I said, getting 20 years in prison, it affects so many people. I mean, especially the motherfucker doing the time. But I'm talking about your family, man, people you was there for. Your presence being gone, that's a devastating blow. Trust me, if you a real dude like I am, and a lot of the brothers I know, man, you affect a lot of people's timeline, man, a lot of people's life. So, you know, I always made it my business. I'll call my grandmother at least once a month. You know, I wasn't on this. If people know me, I wasn't on the phone running. You know what I'm saying? I'm not calling every week, man, because I had to detach myself from the world, because I wasn't living in the world no more. I was living in FCI, USP. You know what I'm saying? I was living in federal prisons. So, you know, I would call at least once a month and catch up with everybody, let everybody know I was good and all that. And my grandmother got the majority of the call. That's my baby. That's my father's mother. And, you know, so I remember this one particular time I was talking to her. She was a Heat of the Night fan. I'm telling you, man, we was on there. She had me going because she was talking about Sarah Gillespie and Tibbs. Yo, she knew all of them, man. She knew all of them, and she was just talking about an episode she had seen. This is wild. She had told me about an episode she had seen, and it reminded her of me because some kids got caught for selling drugs and this is that. I was like, what? She was like, yeah. She gave me the whole rundown. Winky, what's up, girl? What you doing, baby? I seen that Thanksgiving spread. That thing was looking good, girl. I should have came got me a plate of something. But yeah, so you know, my grandmother telling me about the Heat of the Night. That's her favorite show. Sheriff Gillespie, you know, Chief Gillespie. Come on, y'all know what it is. And so, and we got to talking and everything. And she just asked me. She knew I was Muslim, and she was like, "Well, hey, they not bothering you in there because you Muslim now?" I said, "Nah, girl, no. It's hundreds of us. You know what I'm saying?" You know, she said, okay. I said, you know Muslims, but we believe in Jesus. We love Jesus. She said, well, that's good enough for me, baby. You say you love, that's good enough. You know, that was my grandmother, man. I love her to death, man. Oh my God. So that was our call, right? Got off the phone with her. She told me she started walking up Mary Baldwin around the track, trying to lose some weight, get her high blood pressure under, all that stuff, man. You know, those calls are vivid to me. You know what I'm saying? Especially in where I was doing 20 years, and especially, you know, on this edition of FedTime with O, that was the last time I talked to my grandmother. That was the last time I talked to my grandmother, man. I'm going to hold you to that, Wink. Okay, baby girl. And you know why I say that? Because what's the title of this FedTime with O? No one never wants to get that call from the chaplain. And that very night, the night that I talked to my grandmother, told her I loved her and everything, that night about 3 o'clock in the morning, the COs came to my cell. And let me tell you something, man. When they come to your cell late at night, it's only really for 3 reasons. You getting a surprise urinalysis, because they piss test you now. And it ain't got to be if they think you're doing drugs. It's just a random system. You got 3,000 inmates in a certain particular prison. If you stay in that prison long enough, your name is going to get called for a drug test. So any time of the day. So you getting a call in the morning for a drug test early in the morning. You getting transferred, because they never tell you when you getting transferred. They'll tell you where you going. I knew when I was leaving West Virginia, I was going to New York. And I knew when I left New York, I was going to Pennsylvania. They just never tell you when. All right? So you keeping up with me. Surprise piss test, you getting transferred, or somebody in your family has passed. And when they came to my cell, I was asleep, of course. Me and my cellie. Hey, Harden, 07769084. I still know my number. It's embedded in your brain. That's what you know for 20 years. Yeah, what's up, man? Well, I might even sleep out my eye. Yeah, what's up? Hey, you need to go over to the chapel. And at that moment, I already knew the drill. We know the drill, man. We've seen guys make that walk to the chapel, man, when the whole compound is closed after 8, 9 o'clock. When you make that walk to the chaplain, you know you about to get some unfortunate news. And that night, man, was cold as shit in West Virginia, man. You know, it's like 2:30. I'm making a walk. I'm sitting there trying to go through my mind. I'm thinking about my children. My children was young at that time. My daughter they wasn't even 10. Janelle might have been 5, 6. You know, Q might have been, he 3 years younger than this, so Q wasn't no more than 2, 3 years old. So I'm just like, yo, oh man, I always pray that nothing happen to that man. I love my baby so much. So, you sitting there trying to figure out, man, who, because you know the bad news, you going to the chapel. And I go in there, and he sit me down, and he told me my grandmother's name. This is your grandmother. And I said, yes, without a doubt. He said, well, I hate to inform you that your grandmother passed that night, recently. The last time my grandmother heard my voice, I was in federal prison. The last conversation, I'll never forget, it was about In the Heat of the Night with Sheriff Gillespie, man. And I had to go back to my cell. I didn't even call nobody. Who I'm going to call 3 o'clock in the morning. I just had to process that this was the last place that my baby saw her grandson. This was the last place. She died knowing that I was in federal prison. And let me tell you something. That's what separates me and a lot of the brothers that did major league time. 20 years is major league time. Any time is major league, but 20, a dub, humans go from birth to being adults as long as I was in prison. All right? 20 years is a long time, and I had to reconcile that my grandma, I was never going to see her again. Never, ever going to see her again, man, in this planet, this realm. And I told my celly, man, I love the brother, man. He consoled me. I didn't cry. I cried years later, But I didn't cry initially because I was just so hurt that this was the last place that she saw me. I was so grateful that we talked about the heat of the night. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Chase? You know, it was just, that's why I said FedTime with old man. These stories is real. These joints is real, whether they real inspiring, real funny, real sad, they real. My grandmother died about year 3 or 4. And along with a host of other family members that I miss dearly, but that was the initial one, man. The one that was my heart, my baby, man, fed me, fed my father, clothed me, protected me, took up for me. You know, when I came home, I went to her grave. I made a beeline to her grave, and I cried like a baby. I cried to being happy I was free, and I could come back and tell her, I made it home, Grandma. I made it home. You know, and I'm going to make you proud of me. I'm going to make you so fucking proud of your grandson. You know, but man, that joint was hard. And then, you know, to exacerbate the whole situation, you know, when a close family member dies, you can put in to get a furlough to go to the funeral. And the raggedy ass Bureau of Prisons, y'all wonder why I don't like this country and this government, because it's racist, it's prejudice, it's full of you know what. They denied me going to my grandmother's funeral because they said I was a flight risk because I had more than 10 years left on my sentence. I had about 15, 14 years left. They denied me my last to pay my respects, see my family members. It would have been embarrassing, but I would have did anything to be there to tell my grandmother I was going to make her proud, that I was going to knock this sentence out. I was going to get my case overturned. And the Bureau of Prisons denied me that, man. They denied me going to my grandmother's funeral. And I was already, you know, on point, learning to get on point, being conscious and understanding where I was at. But at that moment, I knew I was never going to play with these people, man. I was never going to allow these people, i.e. the powers that be, the government, law enforcement, whoever the fuck you want to name, to ever control me, my whereabouts. Never again. I knew then I was going to leave the country. I knew then, man, you didn't have enough respect to let me go to my grandmother's funeral. But let me tell you something. It's brothers in there right now. It's brothers that I love dearly. It's brothers that I miss. It's brothers that I know that got the same call from the chaplain. And anybody that would tell you that, Dula, what's up, Dula? You know what I'm saying? Anybody would tell you that, man. You do not want that call from the chaplain. You do not want to take that long walk to the chapel, man, because you already know what it is. You don't know who it is, but you know what it is. And I went through so many ebbs and highs and lows in my 20 years in prison, man. That's why my faith is so solidified now, because I couldn't have made it without my faith in my Muslim brothers. My brothers, man, I love them dearly, man. I'm still connected to them, always going to be connected with them, because we share 2 unbreakable bonds. La ilaha illallah, that's the shahada that the Muslim, that makes you Muslim. And we went through the roughest shit in our life, and we came out smiling. We came out here getting it. We ain't out here crying about this. I don't give a fuck about this country. I moved. I moved. I ain't gonna sit there and whine and cry. We don't do that. We movers and shakers, man. We movers and shakers, man. And I want to give a shout out to my man, 100 Grand up in Bodymore. I'm glad you touched back down, bro. Hey, Aki, I'm glad you back out here with us, man. I'm glad you're safe, man. Nothing but love and respect, man. See you turned up there and you got in, man. That was a beautiful thing to see, man. Love you, miss you, bro. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Keep doing what you're doing. But yeah, listen, man, that call from the chapel is, ooh. Yeah, that joint knock you to your knees, man. Because like I said, you don't know who it is. You just know it's somebody. I love you too, Trace. Love you too, girl. Yeah. It's, I mean, that experience will shape and mold you. You can let it break you, but it's going to shape and mold you. So, you know, it's still molding me. And I've been out almost 10 years, 9.5 years. May 15th, another 6 months will be 10 years. I've been out a decade. And y'all know what I done did in 10 years, man. You know what I'm saying? You see listen, man, my YouTube is off the chain. I love y'all so much, man. I done got almost 400 subscribers in a week. I'm getting ready to bust 1K in a butt, man. I just had 500 last Monday. I'm at almost 900 now. I owe it all to y'all, man, for the support. But listen, man, you know, FedTime, it's going to always be, it's going to be something to make you think, man. Like I said, it's going to be real. Real inspiring, real funny, real sad, real ugly, real vicious. I mean, you know, that's what prison is. And once you in there, you can't run from it. You got to embrace it. You can't become a savage, but you can't play no games with them dudes either. Because, you know, dudes ain't playing them games, man. And who you telling, Artie? That decade and flew by, bro. That knocked the 5 years paper in the ass. Had the trucking company. Went on television. Moved out the country. Like, yo, man. I've been a busy little beaver, man. Alhamdulillah, man. You too, bro. Listen, man. Anybody want to get some fly designs, you got to check out my bro, man. One Arrive Apparel, man. He's on IG. I didn't cop. Y'all always be talking about my Jackson 5 hoodie. That's who made it. You know what I'm saying? My Camden High hoodie. That's who made it. You know, my man Artie, man. You got to check him out on Instagram. One Arrive Apparel, man. And that's a brother that was in there with me doing wonderful things. Like, he out there getting it. Can make anything, man. You know, and that's who we are. You have to take the pain, man. It's like getting the needle. You know you need the needle so they can put the antibodies in you, man. You got to take it. Just grit your teeth, man. Listen, that pain was unbearable. But I hope and I know in my heart I made my grandmother proud. I'm still making her proud, man. And that's all that matters to me, man. That's all that matters to me, you know. But that was definitely a tough time for the kid, man. That was a tough time, man. But like I said, man, with the brothers' shoulders I could lean on, it wasn't nothing like praying with 200-300 brothers, man. Being in the halakha in the circle with 30-40 brothers, eating with the brothers. See, what y'all don't understand, we real brothers. Muslims are real brothers. I don't care if you from Sri Lanka and he from Cincinnati. That's your brother, man. We gonna eat together, man. We gonna greet each other with a smile and love and all that, man. We gonna come to our brother's age. It's, you know, it's rights that Muslims have over each other. Y'all, you know, you want to understand why the Islamic Brotherhood is so strong and you, because we have rights over each other. You're supposed to visit your Muslim brother or sister when they sick. You always greet them, you know what I'm saying? If their blood is shed, you defend their honor. You know, you give them some sincere advice. So, yeah, I relied on them brothers, man, in that trying time when my grandmother died, man. When I got that phone call, it wasn't no fun, man. It wasn't no fun, but like I said, you can't think things not going to happen to you that's happening to everybody else. You know, 365 days, I know brothers that was waiting on visits. And they people died in car crashes coming up to these prisons that they place in the middle of nowhere because, you know, they want to make sure you don't escape on some real slave plantation shit. Like, you know what Big Sandy USP is in Kentucky? Big Sandy, Kentucky, that shit is on top of a mountain. It's like they blew the top off of a cold mountain and stuck a prison up there. You're not going nowhere up there. So I know brothers that lost family members coming to visit them. Listen, man, time don't stop and life don't stop because you locked up. That's one thing, you know, my grandmother's passing did to me, man. I had to accept it. You know, I was very angry. I couldn't go visit. I couldn't go to the funeral. But, I mean, I took that out on busting the government in the ass with law work. I stayed in the law library. Anybody will tell you. You know, I learned that law. I know that law. You know, that's why I stay by myself when I'm in America, because I know most of these jokers are snakes. Yeah, most of these jokers out here are snakes, especially if you're catching cases. These dudes ain't built like us. They gonna rat. They are rats. So I just stay away. I moved out the country. Y'all can hide that. But, man, that was one of my roughest times in federal prison, man. And I wanted to share that with y'all, man. Because like I said, man, I got plenty of FedTime stories. But I'm going to tell it to you all, man. We ain't glamorizing shit. This is the real. When you lose family members, they not coming back. And if you got administration that's not going to let you go to the funeral, that's it. This is the last place they gonna see you at, know you at, from you calling on that phone, talking for 15 minutes. And that's when my grandmother left this earth, man. But like I said, man, I wasn't the only one. I gotta accept my bitter medicine. It's a part of doing time. That's what we mean by bidding. You gotta know how to bid, champ. You gotta know how to bid. What's the old saying? Don't let the time do you, do the time. Don't let the time do you. I ain't never let the time do me. That's why I came out razor sharp. That's why Allah is blessing me, because number one, you know what I'm saying, I'm humble. Number two, I ain't lazy. Number three, I'm Muslim. You think that don't mean something? Okay, I'm gonna tell you, you know. Name somebody else that did what I did in 10 years that was locked up 20 years. How the first Muslim ever on 60 Days In, A&E's critically acclaimed show, how did the first Muslim end up on there? At 52 years old. And rep Islam. You see me on there praying and everything, man. Trying to teach them young boys, man, what to do with their life. So, you know, all praises is due to Allah, man. You know, I had to weather that storm, man, of my grandmother passing. But I had to share that story with you on this edition of FedTime with O. Because everything went sweet. I got some funny things coming too. I got some more, you know, heartbreaking things. But I'm going to give them to you raw on FedTime with O. This, you know, if this discourages any of these young kids from selling drugs, or doing anything illegal to go to prison. Prison this is not cool. That's the purpose of my FedTime with O. I want to enlighten you about what it's like in there, the real. But it's like I said, it's going to be real. Could be real sad. But it's definitely going to be real. But yeah, man, that was a rough one there. But you see your boy out here still shining, making his grandmama proud, man. I love her to death, man. You know, that was my baby there. You know what I'm saying? Old girl was my baby. I love my father's mother, man. I love my mother's mother too, you know. I just was with my father because my mom and pops divorced, so I was around my grandmother more. And man, let me tell you something. I'll never forget when she told me, baby, just pray that you live long enough that you don't have to bury none of your children. And I used to make that prayer in prison. She said my father dying broke her back. Like, there's nothing like that. And I always pray for that my children bury me. I don't have to bury them, man. You know, so, you know, keep that prayer for parents, because, you know, it's rough out here, man. It's rough out here, but I had to drop that jewel on you, man. Let y'all feel me this Monday, man. Ooh, that brought back some memories. I had to get that out. I had another story I was going to tell, but I'm going to say that. I might come back in a couple of days and hit you with that. This young was what I have. But yeah, I had to get that off, man. And my grandmother, man, my birthday coming up, the 28th. Y'all need to go in and hit that Cash App, $Nair. I'm going to have 1,000 subscribers, inshallah. We're going to throw a little something, man. But yeah, I had to bring y'all that tonight. I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your night. Tell a friend and tell a friend, watch this video, man. That's what you do, man. Tell them to watch this video, man. Tell them to go on YouTube, the iCast. Like and subscribe, man. You know, until the next time, man, I love y'all. Love you for the support. Let's keep it going into the next edition of FedTime with O. I'll be back, y'all. Peace.